Hi, Bo. Nice to see you again. Um, I know that every off season you pick something that you want to improve on and focus on that. Can you tell me what, if anything, you chose over this off season?
A lot of things. It wasn't really anything in particular. Obviously, I need to get better at a lot of things. But really, I didn't like how I ended the season last year, physically, defensively, offensively, every part of the game, really. So, just try to get better at every area.
Can I ask a follow up there, Ron?
Yeah, go ahead, Rosie. One question with follow up.
Okay. What you sound like you were quite disappointed in last season. I mean, you were injured, so do you factor that in, or what makes you disappointed with what you did?
I mean, I was healthy enough to produce at a higher level than I did. So, um, I mean, I think you can learn from everything, and I think I learned from it, and I attacked the off season to the best of my ability. I think it went really well. So I'm excited to see how the season goes. Excited to get started.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next we'll go to Kyle.
You. Hey there, Bo. You're a guy from St. Petersburg, Lakewood High School. I talked to your high school coach last week. What's it mean to you to now play a few of these regular season games in Pinellas County, so close to where you grew up, where you played high school, and still where you give back to that team?
Yeah, obviously we all would much rather be in Toronto, but for me personally, it's I mean, I guess it's the best of the worst case scenario to be home, be in a comfortable spot. Like you said, this is where I grew up. So, I mean, it's the weather will be nice, and that's all we can hope for under these circumstances.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Scott.
Hey, Bo, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. I know we're not down there to see it this spring, but I've heard you come into camp in better shape than anyone's ever seen you. What was the motivation for you on that end?
I mean, obviously, like I said, I didn't like how I ended the year last year, but for me, I don't think it really would have mattered if I ended on a high note or on a low note. I still would have, gotten to work and done the best I could to come in the best shape that I could. And I think I did that. I think there's definitely more room that I can get better at, and I'll continue to try and reach, the highest that I can. But, I feel good. And like I said, ready to go.
When you hear Francisco Lindor rumors, things like that, and I'm sure the organization would have talked to you, whether those are true or not, how does that make you feel? And kind of how do you kind of work through those mentally?
Francisco's a great player, so the rumors aren't something that are necessarily surprising. But for me, I mean, obviously I've told you guys a bunch of times I want to be a shortstop. I think that I can be a really good one. And, I'm going to put the work in to be. So, for me this off season, I heard the rumors, but really it was just all about continue to work as much as I can at shortstop, because I was still the shortstop at the time. So nothing changed for me.
Thanks, Bo. Appreciate it.
Your turn, Ben.
Hey, Bo, thanks for the time. Wondering, when you say that, last year didn't finish the way you were hoping it would, can you be just a little bit more specific as far as, was it your mental approach? Was it, defense? I know you're kind of saying everything, but any specific insights you can give us as far as what it was that you would have liked to do or finish better?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was kind of everything. I mean, it definitely, I think it stemmed from maybe a mental energy I had. I don't know what it was, but I mean, last year took a toll on everybody, and I think that I didn't handle it as best as some of the guys around the league did, and so for me, it's about learning from that and not making the same mistake.
Right. And then kind of bigger picture, just a few minutes ago in Padres camp, they announced a 14-year extension for Fernando Tatis Jr., obviously incredible player, same age as you, also a son of a big leaguer. Without getting into specifics, what's your kind of general philosophy when it comes to, would you consider extensions? Would you want to do that kind of thing? Or how do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Fernando. I've always admired the way he plays from minor leagues till now. I mean, he's an exciting player. I think it's really powerful that an organization believed in him enough to to put the commitment they did. Obviously, he's probably still not going to get paid what he should have. But I think that, it's good for Fernando, and I think it's good for the Padres. So that means good for baseball. And on my end of things, I'm open, but obviously there's more important things at hand with camp starting today. And, that's where my focus is.
Thanks.
We'll go to Arash.
Hey, Bo, thanks for the time. Just further to that, were there any talks at all this offseason about any kind of extension with you?
It was brought up, but no offer. So I think, I would rather focus on spring training the season ahead, but, we'll see what happens.
I was just on that Tatis call, and already the Padres were saying stuff like, hopefully one day we'll have a statue of Tatis next to Tony Gwynn. And Tatis was saying, look, it's all about winning. It's all about winning. For you, as you come into this, how much are you now putting on yourself as a dude who's been through the big league experience now for a season and a half, or parts of 2 seasons, whatever you want to call last year, about you being the guy, so to speak, one of the main guys who's going to kind of shoulder this load when it comes to winning?
Yeah, I mean, nothing changes for me. I think whether you're one of the guys or whether you're not one of the guys, you come in, you prepare, you play hard, be a good teammate, and I don't think anything really should be different from anybody's side. So I just, I'll come in here and I'll continue to be prepared, continue to play hard, and continue to be available to my teammates when they need me. But, it's just about business and playing ball right now.
Next is Arden.
Hey, Bo, thanks for the time. I know, or I think you haven't actually had the chance to play against Oakland and Marcus Semien over your career yet, but I am just kind of curious, as a guy who plays the position in the majors, if you've kind of watched him at all over the years and maybe what you appreciate about his game from afar.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't followed his career much. Being on the West Coast, me being on the East Coast is a little difficult, but I think the biggest thing I can learn from him is he's always gotten better. I think you can see that throughout his career, and that's something that I'm going to be striving for, throughout my career every single day, how to get better. And obviously he's figured something out with, himself. And so, we'll see if I can apply that to my game.
Yeah, he's made pretty significant strides defensively during his time in the majors, which I'm sure isn't the easiest thing to do. And I'm sure you're looking to continue to do that yourself. Can you just even just describe how challenging it is to be at the big league level and still trying to make those strides while, every night you got a game that matters that you have to play?
Yeah, I don't look at it that way. I think if I look at it, if I put the work in and I'm consistent every single day and make sure, like I said, I'm prepared and I play hard, it'll all work itself out. So for me this year, it's about being consistent with my work, and I think that should handle it.
Thank you.
We'll go to Rob.
Hey, Bo, good to see you. Last off season, you made it known that you were in touch with the front office and anxious for the team to improve, but with some acquisitions. They did it again this winter. Beyond the obvious of what George Springer is going to bring to a team in terms of performance, what else do you think he brings? What could you learn from a guy like that?
Yeah, I mean, he's been maybe the best player on his team while he won a World Series. He's put up some crazy numbers on the biggest stage in the game, and that's what it's about. If you can show your peers that you can perform at the highest level on the biggest stage, I think that garners a lot of respect. So we'll be able to learn a lot from him. When we make the playoffs, if we make the playoffs, we'll be able to watch him and see how he goes about his business. And I think that should help a lot of us.
Can you compare this time last year? You were pretty optimistic that the team could make a little bit of noise. Can you compare the sense of optimism that you have going into this camp as you did a year ago?
I mean, I believe in the team just like I did last year. Obviously, we added some new names, and I think this year really, I mean, if we go home without a trophy, that'll be disappointing. Last year was a little bit different probably. So, obviously we're going to go out there and we're going to play as hard as we can and compete. And like I always say, just do our best to go out there and perform the best we can.
Thanks, Bo.
Your turn, Laura.
Hey, Bo, thanks for doing this. Hope you're well. On a little bit of a different topic, I wonder if you could look back to the week before everything shut down last year. Was there a moment where you sort of realized that COVID-19 was about to change everything?
No. I think when camp got canceled last year, there was no thought of what it would be. This is completely out of the realm of thoughts, possibilities, I think at that time, what we were expecting. But I mean, last year helped us, learn how to deal with it. We'll be going through the same sort of thing this year. So I think everybody will be, more educated and more prepared to deal with it mentally, physically, everything.
I think that you were in Bradenton that day when, Major League Baseball shut things down. Do you remember anything from that day? Like, what was it like on the bus, like traveling when, the NBA had shut down the night before?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that anybody wanted to be at that game after seeing the NBA cancel. We all kind of knew it was coming, and, we went out there and did our job. But I think around like the 5th inning, we got word that the season had shut down and they made us finish the game. So I remember we were all kind of complaining about that. But, it was unfortunate. But I think like I said, we learned, and we'll be more prepared this year.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Buck.
Thank you, Bo. Good to have you here. This organization has taken a lot of pride in their ability to communicate with players. Did you have communication with the front office or Charlie as they were getting closer to the Marcus Semien trade to assure you that you were going to be their shortstop going forward?
I was called the minute that that they reached an agreement, basically to tell me before the news came out that I was still playing shortstop. So yes, I've been in touch.
Obviously, that didn't make you feel pretty good. Now, another question. I know it's early in the process, but what do you have to do to work with Marcus to get comfortable with how he wants the ball, what he wants to do on double play situations, and how you guys are going to work things out together? What specifics are you looking for to find from Marcus what he does? You played with Kevin your whole life. You guys think alike. What's the challenge now learning a new second baseman?
Yeah, it was different with Cav. We, normally shortstops and second basemen kind of do everything together. Me and Cav in the past couple of years didn't really care if we were together or not because we knew each other so well. So this spring I'll be with Marcus probably the whole time, doing everything with him. And I don't think there's really anything specific. We'll just, work with each other, double plays, everything. And we'll just talk our way through the process and learn each other.
Thank you.
Your turn, Ben.
Hey, Bo, just further to the question of kind of expectations, you touched on if you guys don't come away with a trophy, you'll be disappointed. Can you kind of expand on what it is that you think this team is capable of doing in the course of a full 162?
Yeah, I say, if we don't come away with a championship, it'll be disappointing. But at the same time, we have a lot to get better at. Myself individually, I've got to play better than I did last year to have an opportunity to do some crazy things. So, I think we're all very excited. We all believe in ourselves, and we believe that we can, play with the best team. So there's not really much else in that.
Just a couple of years ago, you were one of those young guys coming up and kind of catching people's eye in spring. Have you noticed any of the young players? I know it's obviously the first day of camp, so it's not like you've had weeks and weeks to necessarily play with them, but has anyone caught your eye as far as that, next wave coming to join this team?
I haven't really spent much time around them. Today we have like kind of a different schedule than most spring trainings. So I haven't been around all of them that much, but I know that we have a lot of exciting players around here. And I'm excited to see how they do and hopefully they help us in the future.
Cool. Thanks.
And we'll go to Ian.
Hey, Bo, thank you for the time. I wonder whether when that becomes available, have you thought about your willingness to use a COVID-19 vaccine and how you guys as a team might sort of hash that issue out together with, whether there might be a team-wide willingness to all get vaccinated?
Yeah, we haven't had that conversation as a team. It hasn't come up. So I can't really speak on the team's behalf. But, we'll see what MLB has to say about it, if that's an option, and we'll talk about it.
What about for you personally, Bo?
For me personally, we'll see. I don't have enough data on it, but I'll look at the data and figure out if it's good for me or not.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Scott.
Just a couple of quick ones here. Just when you think about it, you came up near the trade deadline in 2019, and then last year obviously started in DC in front of no fans. This year you're going to start in Dunedin with a couple thousand fans. Is it weird to you that you still haven't experienced a true opening day in the real sense of it at this point?
Yeah, really weird. I think Ben was calling me one of the younger guys a couple years ago, but I still feel that way. So we'll see. I would love to see an opening day in Rogers Center. That's something that I think every player dreams of, but I guess the longer you wait, the more special it'll be.
And then when you look at the lineup, obviously you've hit, in the top 3 spots. I'm assuming you probably don't care, but when you envision you and George, Kevin, whoever it is atop that lineup, where do you think you fit best?
I think in the top of the lineup, but I don't care 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter to me. Doesn't change my approach either way. You guys know I'm gonna swing the bat. I'm gonna be aggressive 1, 2, or 3. So for me, it doesn't matter.
Great, thanks, Bo.
And back to Arash.
Hey, Bo, individually, what kind of goals have you set for yourself for this season?
Just to get better. A lot of I guess materialistic like awards or numbers are kind of out of my control. So for me, I'm just trying to get better every single day. Give away less at bats. Be focused more often in the field. Basically just taking out anything that is kind of like an automatic harm to my game. I think if I can stay locked in more than the next guy, make adjustments quicker. That's my goals this year.
You were mentioning just you didn't handle last year as well as you had hoped. What are some of the things that you're really going to focus in on about that for this season?
Just stay locked in no matter what. Last year was kind of a roller coaster with teams testing positive, and we were the first league to go through teams testing positive and not knowing if the season was going to get shut down or not. And so, it looks like obviously watching the NBA and then watching how our season went that we're going to push through. So, just to have that kind of confirmation last year, everybody would think that we were going to go home the next day every time somebody tested positive. And so just things like that, just staying locked in every day. I don't think it'll be too difficult. I've got the experience and I'll make the adjustment.
Thanks, man.
Okay, Rob, and then Caitlin.
Hey, Bo, when you look at this lineup top to bottom, how explosive do you think this team can be? And how much of an advantage do you think you might have playing in the smaller ballpark at Dunedin to start the season?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I think we're all comfortable there, but at the same time, I think a lot of the other teams have played in that stadium too. So I don't foresee any really home field advantage. I think we'll just go out there and play hard, just like we did last year. And if we end up winning more games at home, then we end up winning more games. But I think that we'll still have to go out there and execute better than the other team to win the game.
Offensively, how good can this team be?
I think can be one of the best in the league. I think we were pretty close to that last year. And then obviously adding some pretty good players, we've got a chance to be really good. So it's exciting, like I said, and can't wait to get started.
Thanks, Bo.
All right, Caitlin.
Hi, Bo. Good to see you. Back to sort of the mental grind that was last year. Did you come up with any strategies or think of things that you could do this offseason that would help with that kind of grind, or simply going through it already prepared you to better deal with it this year?
Yeah, just, constantly thinking about what we can do better. Myself and the team included, how we can keep the mood light more often and make sure that we don't get too stressed out about the year. So, I think we'll be all right. We'll be good. Everybody went through it and, I don't foresee any issues.
And just quickly, your dad last year was with the team pretty much every day when the season started. This year sounds like he's going to be taking a bit of a step back. I think he's there in spring right now. But for the decision for him to just kind of be more of a special advisor, was that a family decision between you and him and your mom? Did you guys talk about it? And how did that come about?
Yeah, it was a family decision. I think my dad's been through the grind enough. I think he forgot what it was like to be in the clubhouse every single day. He did that, for 15 or 20 years or whatever. So I think he was kind of over it too. And, I think he did a great job handling me and working with my teammates last year, but this year will just be a little bit less. But yes, it was a family decision.
Great.